Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another magnificent episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Three continents down, three more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a guest that we've been wanting to have on our show for a hot minute, and we were finally able to make it happen. He's actually not only graduated from the Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy, but he's also graduated from the Nightmare Factory Camp 6. That's right, we're throwing up double threes for the 6. He actually participated in their student showcase 6 as well too. Really impressed people, and he's still kicking butt and taking names in the world of professional wrestling. Everybody, welcome to the show, the American Spartan Zack Apollyon. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Awesome, man. We've been trying to, we all, whenever we see the latest class of Nightmare Factory graduate, we always try our best to get them on here. We've had so many people from that great school, the Diamond Sheik, TSF, the Renegade Twins, even from your own class, Justin Packman, Xavier, Ryan Hawthorne, the list goes on and on and on. I just got to say congratulations. I know it's been a year or two now since you graduated, but hey, kudos to you on that. Congratulations on making that happen. I know it wasn't easy. I've heard stories, but you can probably call yourself a Nightmare Factory alumni.
Yeah, man, it was a really super cool experience. Not only Nightmare Factory, but JPWA, learning from Dr. Tom, from Cody, QT, so many great coaches, Glacier, Luke Sampson, just so many really good names, and overall just really confound experience. Getting in the ring and work with guys like Justin or girls like Ryan or Wallace, Teriyaki, people like that. Just overall awesome experience, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, a lot of great names you called there that we were very fortunate to have on the show. So, I normally ask, let's take a trip back in memory lane. And I normally ask, 99% of our guests that we have on the show, how did it all start for the American Spartan? What was the show or the match or the event that you saw that made you become a fan of professional wrestling?
Man, I kind of got it from my parents. They fell in love with professional wrestling before I was even born. Young parents. Dad was in the military. Mom had just got out of high school, going into college, stuff like that. And they would eat like bologna sandwiches to be able to save up and like buy pay-per-views and stuff. So my first match that I remember is I can't remember the actual match. I know it was a WrestleMania. It was Austin and Rock. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it was I just fell in love with it, man. Even at that young age, I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and it just stuck with me, man. I've always wanted to do it.
Wow, you started with two of the best rivals to do with the two best rivals to do it, Austin and Rock. Those guys had a lot of back and forth. I always say that those two men were the leaders of the Attitude Era. It was them. And a lot of times you were either a Rock fan or an Austin fan. So
Austin all the way. I love Austin, man. It's just not only his work, but his mic skills, to be able to keep, because everybody loves Rocky, the people's champion, he's a go-to guy, especially when you're talking about mic skills, but just overall presence in the industry. Austin grew to a rate so quickly. It's really hard act to follow.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen his early work, like before he was in WWE?
Yeah, man. I saw Stunning Steve from WCW. I've looked up a ton of indie matches and found those. And then it cracked me up. They did that little throwback. I can't remember what the commercial was, but it's that truck comes flying by and he gets his long flowing hair back. He's like, "Thanks, guys."
Yeah, that was yeah. It's amazing how he can go from a pretty boy with long blonde hair, wearing robes to the ring, to this ruthless, beer drinking, middle finger showing, profanity swearing guy that beats up his boss and stuns everybody in his path. I tell you, character development is a crazy thing in professional wrestling. It really like stuns me for no pun intended, how not just him but many other people can like go through that metamorphosis of character from going from this to that. It's just amazing.
Oh yeah, man. And I think one thing, and this is just me, but I think one thing that really set Austin up so much for people is, like you said, him beating up his boss, or we have to, in society, people aren't able to kind of just like let loose and do stuff they want to do off the fly. So for somebody to just come up and be like, hey, I don't care who you are or what kind of position of power you have, I'm just me, and if you get my way, I'm gonna stomp a mud hole and walk it dry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin was definitely something back in the day, and whew, man, you
And he's
you
still
def-
something, man.
oh yeah, definitely is. But you know what's something I always look at Austin. So there was another guy. I know you're familiar. You definitely got to be familiar with him if you know about Austin. Brian Pillman,
Oh yeah.
Brian Pillman Senior. I always wonder like how things would have been if he hadn't died. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I see Stone Cold Steve Austin, I see a bit of like Brian Pillman, how he was a loose cannon. So could you imagine if eventually Brian Pillman didn't pass away? He lived on. Could you imagine them having a match against each other eventually?
I mean,
Or
man, that's dream match material, I think. I mean, just like I said, both the in-ring work of Austin and Pillman, and I think that would have been something that would have drew a very large crowd.
yeah,
Because we
you
just
know,
you have those two strong persons clashing, and the story writes itself.
I'll tell you one thing. I tend to shamelessly play armchair booker, but if Derby knows what's good for them, Austin's last match, I think if he has one more in him, or at least something, they have Brian Pitt, well, Lexus King now. They might want to do a little something with the two of them, because I think that would be something to definitely, check out. Because yeah, Brian Pillman Senior. I think just imagine if two of them were actually a tag team together,
Oh
him
yeah.
and Austin. Oh, with the way like their personalities were. Oh, geez,
And
that
it's fun. It's funny that you mentioned Lexus King, because formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr. Because both Justin and myself worked a show with him in Ohio, and just really phenomenal dude. And I'm super happy to see him get where he needed to be and being utilized the way that he should be used.
oh yeah, yeah. To me, it was only a matter of time until he got great. It was only a matter of time until he actually rose. I mean, you could definitely see it.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah. So back to you now, man. So now you're a wrestling fan. Did you ever get to meet Stone Cold growing up, or see him live, wrestle live, or only like on TV? You got to see
No,
him.
it was mainly TV. I've got to meet some cool people, especially after I started joining into the industry. Um, like I met Jerry the King Lawler. I met him at a show. Really awesome guy. I mean, legendary. I've met, like I said, there's a lot of people, man. It's kind of hard to keep track of. Like I said, I mentioned Glacier was my coach over at the Nightmare Factory. I mean, Cody, QT, you get that. Cardell, met her because they would all come in. Nightmare Factory graduates, people training there, AEW guys would come into the show when we were located in Atlanta, or into the facility and come in and just train. So to kind of have that interaction and be able to kind of pick their brains, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, what do you think about that? From people that are currently like top names in the industry is really helpful.
Oh yeah. So now that you're a fan of the business, how did your journey go from the American Spartan Zack? Well, let me rewind a bit. Zack Apollyon, wrestling fan, to the American Spartan Zack Apollyon. How did that journey go for you? Like, how'd you end up like finding JPWA and Nightmare Factory and all that?
Well, it always been a dream, man. I think like everybody has that fascination. Like, well, what would it be like? What would it do this? What would it do that? And then, you know, it just kind of progressed and progressed. And then COVID hit. And I was like, well, if now is ever going to be a time for me to do this, for me to pursue this dream and be who I want to be, like now's the time. So, I live in the Kentucky area, and just started looking around, and I saw, JPWA, Jacob Pritchard Wrestling Academy. I know both of those names. Why does that sound so familiar? Dr. Tom Pritchard, and then Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane. As soon as I saw that school, man, I was like, I gotta do this. So I moved down to Knoxville because that's where they were located at the time. Met Glenn Jacobs, got to work one-on-one with Dr. Tom, really profound guy. And that's just where it started, man. And then from there, Dylan McQueen, another Nightmare Factory graduate.
Oh, Zaddy. They call him Zaddy, right? You say your daddy's
Zaddy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. Well, he came in to visit. And, everybody's got, if you look at any of the JPWA classes, you've got like Sheamus, Edge, Beth Phoenix, Johnson, like anybody, tons of these like top name brands that Doc is trained come in and drop by. And I got to talk with Dylan, and he was talking about the Nightmare Factory, and I was like, man, I got to do that. So I jumped. I was in Knoxville for three or 4 months. And then after that, I came home for like a week, and then I was in Atlanta for another 3 to 4 months.
Oh, wow. So you were getting the best of the best training, man. I mean, you got great minds in Dr. Tom Pritchard and, Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane. And then you went over to the Atlanta Nightmare Factory. You got, great minds like Cody Rhodes, who, of course, the grandson of a plumber, the son of the American Dream, hottest thing right now in WWE. You're getting knowledge from Glacier, you're getting knowledge from so many other people, and it's like wow, like it must have been so much to take in, man. Like in hindsight, when you look back at your journey in regards to training, what goes through your mind? Are you in like, oh, like, yo, did I just do that? Did I just get training from several of the best people in pro wrestling? What's your thought process when you look back at that?
Well, I just feel really grateful, because I've had that opportunity to get in the ring and to pick the minds of these, great legendary names in the business. And that's really the way I always look at it is Tom, WA was the foundation for everything that I've started as, the American Spartan. And then the Nightmare Factory was where I refined it, where I truly honed in to what exactly it meant to be me in that sense of, being a professional or being like my presence in the ring, stuff like that. And I'll call Glacier to this day, man. Like we talk, it's been a little bit, but we talk at least once a month. And I just like to update him, and he still lets me pick his brain, man. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, the funny thing, when I first saw Glacier, he was my favorite wrestler. I'd get so excited to like see him when he made his appearance, and he's like the snowflakes coming down. This is like back in WCW, when you come out with like the samurai gear and everything, and he had like the paint over his one eye, and I was like, wow, this guy is a badass, man. I used to get so excited. I used to tell my cousin, man, hush, man, like Glacier's fighting, man. You gotta talk to me. And I'm not saying this because you're in front of me and you're like legitimately. That's how I was. I was like, yeah, like tell my cousin, like, yo, man, look, don't talk to me right now. Glacier's wrestling. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to know nothing. The man's about to do his thing.
And I'm zoned in, man. You gotta tone down. I'm in the zone right now.
Yeah. That was 13-year-old me when he debuted. So yeah, that man was definitely. I still think, man, like there could have been more done with him character wise, in regards to Glacier and everything, man. I think that guy could have been more than what they did, with him in WCW.
Yeah.
So the Nightmare Factory Camp 6, man. You graduated, you did your thing, but now you gotta you actually had to show what you learned at the following student showcase 6, and you got the team with, I believe it was Cobra Singh against
Mhm.
one of our other alumni guests, superstar Jay Lucas, and I forgot who he teamed with. Um, but
Uh, it was it was Dean Cooper, which I haven't
he,
heard much from Dean. I don't know exactly where he's gone on or anything like that. But Cobra Singh and I actually were in the same JPWA class, and that's actually how we met. And we
wow,
transitioned,
okay,
from there to Georgia's standing friends, awesome guy, and to be able to do that, in that setting with him was like a huge confidence booster, man.
wow, that's a small world. That's it. It's a real small world because not only were you in the same class with Cobra Singh, Jay Lucas, and even the mold breaker, Justin D. Xavier, but you also wrestled one of Justin D. Xavier's well, not one of his current tag team partner, Arcade Hangover, the life of the party. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Like this guy wrestled like I was like it was his first name is Mike. I forgot what his last name was.
Yeah, live for the party, Party Mike,
Party
Mike
Mike.
Howard.
Mike how Mike don't my bad, bro. I'll remember next time. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
I'm getting old, man. I can only remember so many names, man. Like, but yeah. But you got to wrestle but you got to wrestle him. I tell you, man, you're just I saw your match against Chris Mason. That was a hell of an impressive match. I was like when I saw you hit that rock bottom, when I saw you hit the rock bottom on Chris Mason, for some at that point, and I'm not like I said, I'm not just saying this. I heard the whole "this is Sparta" right before he kicks the guy down the well. That's
yeah.
what I imagined playing in my head. And then you even busted out like a Texas clover leaf on him. I thought you had him right there, but he got to the ropes. Yeah, that was that. I definitely enjoyed seeing that match as well. So the way you are in the ring. You're about your business. You're intense. You're an intense competitor. Whenever you're in the ring, doesn't matter who it is. You bring it all. Is that why you're called the American Spartan?
Yeah, well, American Spartan is I like the it's the intensity. You can actually the cool thing about it is you can trace my lineage back to Greece, back to the Spartans of old. So that's where I pulled
Okay.
that from. It's like that kind of pride that's passed down. And I've always, not only because it's my culture, but before I found that out, I just fell in love with God. I always had that connection. So I want to do my family proud. I want to do the lineage proud, and I want to win, man. Like that's the bottom line about it. Is I just want to be the best.
Wow. That's that's definitely great. That's a great. Honestly speaking, I could definitely see you talking about your lineage. Like you have like the whole like the music playing, like with like kind of not medieval, but like you know you you know what I'm talking about, like kind of like battle like music, and then you
Yeah,
can start talking about your past and whatnot, and the build up. Like yeah, that's pretty. I like that you have the Spartan hat right there, man.
uh,
That's pretty cool as
this
well, man.
this is one, and you can see it's a little battle worn. It's seen some stuff through its day. I try to take good care of it, but that's what I take out to the ring with me, man. I have the spear too, but when the spear is out, I mean business. It's time to get there. So
Oh, so it's kind of like Taz with his like his black
mhm.
towel when he's because when you saw Taz with that black towel over his head, you knew it was about to go down. Like
Yeah,
somebody was gonna get messed up. Yeah. So now that the showcase out of the way, and like I said, you're doing a lot of great things. You're battling Chris Mason. You recently teamed with Chris Mason. You battled so many people. You know who are some of your opponents that you want to face in the near future? They could be from anywhere. Like, who would you say are like your top five that you want to wrestle against?
Well, I just recently wrestled with Chris again. So I love, Chris is always one of my go-to guys. Justin, I wrestled Justin. I love Justin. Um, Justin's a little slippery. I'm trying to get him to get back in the ring with me. There's so many different people, so many good people that I've wrestled with. Like people I haven't wrestled with. Silas Mason, I got to get in the ring with Silas. I'd love to do that again. AJ Kazana, KC Kazana. There's a lot of people overall that I can throw out names, and I hate to feel like I'm name dropping, but just good names in the business that people should keep an eye out for, and that I'd love to get to work with again.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you get to get to make that happen, and hopefully we get to see you, more on the mainstream. We get to see you because, like I said, one thing about me is that whenever like I have somebody on the show and I see them like get to do big things, like they get to be on WB or AEW, or they like get to like even tour the world. They get to like we've had so many people like go on to do great things. It's always a great feeling seeing them, because it's like, wow, yeah, we just had that person on the show. They're doing that now. Wow, good for them. They worked hard, they got rewarded. We're cheering them all the way. It's always a great thing to see. That's what we like here at Ringside Society. So I just got a few more questions, before we shut it down. So in regards to pro wrestling, right? Let's say if somebody were to come to you and like, yo, Zach, what you're doing, man? Yo, you're awesome, man. Like you went to JPWA, you went to Nightmare Factory. I want to do what you're doing, man. What advice would you give that that young woman or young man that wants to become a professional wrestler and they want to attend either JPWA or Nightmare Factory?
I would say, it's a hard road. It really is. Don't take it for granted and just absorb everything. And I had a lady at a show ask me, what some advice was. She's attending the current class for JPWA, and I was just saying, just don't take every little bit of the small, those small moments and keep that close because that's the stuff that you're going to say. I'm so glad that I did that, or that could be like the building blocks for the foundation of like your future in this business.
Cool. So for those of you that are actually looking to get into the business, you just got a little something, a little advice from a Nightmare Factory, JPW wrestling, JP Wrestling Academy alumni right here. Anything else, you probably got to hit his Cash App, his Zelle, time is money, but you got a little something right now here on Ringside Society. So I just got two more questions, man. So second to last question, man. When you're in the gym, working out, getting ready to do some reps and weightlifting, or getting ready to knock out some cardio, or when you're getting ready to, study your opponent, what are some songs that the American Spartan has on his playlist?
Oh man, I'm really. I know you can tell by the I dress and stuff like that, but I'm really big into like the heavy metal, man. I love classic rock, stuff like that. It just really depends on which one you're talking about. Because I kind of flip flop between some classic rock or some hip hop stuff like that when I'm in the gym. But when I'm studying opponents, man, that's business. So it's going to be like Disturbed or Slipknot or stuff like that, just to kind of get myself in that mindset. It's that mental game that we all play when we prepare for battle, I should say.
Oh, okay. So you probably like some like Down with the Sickness.
Oh yeah.
You
Hey
know,
man, that's a classic.
yeah. So one of my songs I always have to have on my playlist, like regardless of whether I'm working out or I'm just casually somewhere, is a song by Seven Dust called "Broken Down."
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that's like a song I always have to have on my playlist. I enjoy working out to it. It regardless of whether it's like doing cardio or weightlifting, it's a great song that I enjoy listening to. And one of the few songs that I hear that's like, wow, I like this song is cool. Like I gotta download it right away. And that's something that's kind of like rare to me. So yeah, that's definitely one of my go-tos.
Oh, mine's it seems kind of narcissistic, but my current entrance music is "Unstoppable" by Disturbed. So that's going to be a go-to for me, man. As soon as I start hitting that last set, that big weight stuff like that. If that song pops on, I know that thing's going up. There ain't going to be no struggle there.
Oh, I gotta check that out. My co-host Kathy, she just went to a Disturbed concert over in Mississippi. She enjoyed it, or was it Breaking Bad? I can't remember. Was it Breaking Benjamin or Disturbed? One of the two.
I think it was
But
Disturbed because I just had a buddy of mine go down there, and
oh,
he sent me. They played the song, and he sent me a video of it. He's like, "Hey, man, thinking of you," and I was like, "Well, there's a reason for that."
wait, was that they're the ones that did the Thousand Fist song, right?
Mhm.
It was Disturbed then. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Disturbed. So my last question, right? Where in regards to professional wrestling, where does the American Spartan see himself in 5 years?
Um, that's a little bit of weird. So one of the pieces of advice I got from Glacier was never set a time frame for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to give yourself this kind of expectation, and if you hit it, it's man, I hit this expectation. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But realistically, I would love to, NWA, WWE, AEW. It's kind of I love that those connections. With either or, and it's just a matter of time, man. It's just working my tail end off to get it, to earn that place.
Wow. Well, honestly speaking, I hope you get wherever you want to go. I wish I wish you nothing but the best. But like I said, if I see you on NWA or TNA or WWE or anything, I'll be like, yo, we just had Zack Apollyon on the show. He's up. I've done it before. I've called, my two co-hosts. I wish they were here right now, but Kathy and Rob, and I'm like, guys, turn on the TV, turn on YouTube. Look who's on there. They're like, oh, snap! Like, yeah, that's why I always tell them. We always, um, in regards to Ringside Society, we never tell somebody no if they want to be on our show. We're always looking for people. We don't care if they make it or not. The fact that they go out there, they put on a show for us. You're risking not just physical health but mental health to put on a show for us is enough for us to say, hey, we want to talk to you. You know, we want to give you. We want to hear your story because everybody's stories are different. And if you were to check out any of our other episodes that we've had, you would see like, wow, this person, like we had one person that um started playing wrestling games before they knew that game was actually a game about real people. Like they were playing as Rey Mysterio and all that, and then
Yeah.
they found out that it's actually there's actually real people that go by those names. So you never know what somebody's story is.
And I've watched the show, man. I really enjoy it. I've seen Justin, Jay Lucas, Teriyaki, Casey Rocker, the Renegade Twins. Like I said, I really enjoy the show, man. And when you, I was really excited. I was like, yeah, man, let's go.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for watching. We really and truly appreciate it. Stuff like that makes us, it actually motivates us to keep on going. Thank you for watching. We definitely really and truly appreciate that. There's gonna be a lot more Nightmare Factory too, so we're not done with y'all yet. There's gonna be a lot more people. Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but it all started with Diamond Sheik. Diamond Sheik, we had him on our other show because we have there's 3 shows within our platform, and there's one called 15 Minutes of Fandom, and we had him on there. And then all of a sudden, like next thing you know, and if he's probably listening, he's probably like, "Oh, Remy, you're telling this story for the millionth time," But he's like, we had him on the show, and then a couple months later, he's like, "Yeah, Remy, I'm actually gonna try out for to be a wrestler. I'm gonna train Nightmare Factory." So we're like, "Okay, well, yo, guess what? When you best of luck to you, when you graduate, Let us know. We'll have you on the show. Then he shows us a picture of him, a video of him, training. And then he shows us a picture of him with the graduating class, Camp 2. And I was like, awesome. Let's set a date for you to be on the show. But we just want you to do one more thing for us. We want to know who all those people are because we just don't want to interview just you. We want to get everybody on our show one by one by one by one. And ever since then, what we started with Camp 2, and then we started with a Camp 1. So we got to go get Camp 1 now, and then Camp 3 and Camp 4, and we're just going class by class, getting people on here. So, Diamond Sheik, if you're watching, bro, thank you, man. You put us on to a lot of people because of you.
Yeah, man. Speaking of like Josh Benson, there's so many good talents that have come out of the Nightmare Factory, and I'm really, it's really good to hear like that appreciation or that recognition of that, because that's a lot of that's a lot of hard work that we did down there, and hearing like Justin talk about it or Ryan or anybody, there was never an easy day. It was a kind of not a little bit hard day, and then there's those super really like I want to puke and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You got stronger and you graduated. So congratulations to y'all. I know it's been a year or two now, but kudos to y'all on doing that. Y'all did something that not a lot of wrestling fans can do, and that's you crossed that guardrail respectfully. You became involved in the business. You did it the right way, and it paid off for you. So I tip my hat off to y'all on that. I couldn't do it at all. I'm too old for that. And even if I could, I don't think I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay being a fan. Maybe
No,
I'll be.
we'll get you in the ring. We'll get you in the ring. You can take a few bumps, man.
I'm good, man. I tell you, my co-host Robbie's a referee. He could take all them bumps and the super kicks and all that. I'll just be the timekeeper that just rings the bell and that's it. I've done that before, so yeah, I'm good at ringside. But I just gotta say, man, Zach, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We're glad we finally got you on here. Thank you very much. Um, like I said, we always enjoy talking to y'all, and there's going to be many more. Stay tuned. There's going to be many more episodes where we have Nightmare Factory students on here as well. Before we shut this show down. Before I also, I wish you nothing but the best for your career. Hope you get to wrestle, all the people you want to wrestle. Hope you get to travel more. Hope you get to go to like foreign lands and travel. If you ever get to go to Japan, make sure you get your Ribera jacket. It's a bit of like an unofficial right, or I don't know if it's an official right for wrestlers. Hulk Hogan has gotten his own. John Cena's gotten his own. So
Yeah.
make sure you get your Ribera jacket when you get to Japan.
Oh, I'm
But
planning
I hope,
on it, man.
but
It's
I
only
hope,
a matter of time.
yeah, but I wish you nothing but the absolute best with your career, all the success and whatnot. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearances, purchase, American Spartan merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for the shows? By the way, that shirt you got, I saw that shirt on Instagram. It's a cool shirt. I'm gonna have to go cop me one, man.
Hey, I'll get you one, man. Facebook, you can find me. You can find me on my official page, Zack Apollyon Official. You can find me on Instagram. It's at American Spartan Official, all lowercase. And I'm about to set me up I don't know if it's called Twitter anymore. If you call it X, I've got me.
I still call it Twitter. I don't care what Elon Musk wants. No, that's good. So I'm a bit up there in age, but when you say you're on X, people think it's ecstasy. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, I still call it Twitter.
man, they should just paint it green and we call it DX right there. You just call it Degeneration. Let them run it.
There you go.
But no, man,
Yeah,
I think that's everything. I've TikTok. I've got me a TikTok account where I post some cool edits and stuff of my matches. Matches like Chris Mason, Dylan Stewart, people like that, the Stu Crew. But other than that, man, it ain't hard to find me if you're looking.
awesome. So y'all heard. Definitely go ahead and follow this man. He just gave his social media links. Make sure you cop that American Spartan shirt. If you can't make the shows he's at, that's another way you can support indie wrestling. Support him is by copying the merchandise as well. It's a great feeling. So that way, when he gets signed to WWE or AEW, and somebody comes up and like, yo, I got the new Zack Apollyon, Apollyon shirt, the American Spartan shirt from Shop AEW or WWE Shop, you could be like, man, I got his shirt when he was on when he was on the Indies, man. I've been there since the beginning, so definitely go ahead and cop that shirt. Support indie wrestling. It's a great thing. It's where the majority of your WWE, AEW superstars start at. It's the indies right there. So, with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool stuff, but I do go to a couple of cool places every now and then. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram as well at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify, Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. It's St. Patrick's Day. We have the St. Patrick's Day style shirts. Definitely check it out. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see great interviews like this one, like the one we have with the Renegade Twins, Justin D. Xavier, Ryan Hawthorne, and Teriyaki, Jay Lucas. So many great men and women from the Nightmare Factory. So many great men and women in professional wrestling. You can find all of those interviews on YouTube. And to see them, it's really simple. It's nothing crazy. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign, the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. We just want to let everybody know, that we're very well and aware. Myself, Kathy Knight, Rob Bates, the rest of the Ringside Society crew, we know everybody else and their grandparents have a podcast, but we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. So with that being said, I'm going to say it one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Nightmare Factory Cab 6, and one time for the American Spartan Zack Apollyon. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back later on this week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.